WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate theories to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacey and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to Uncommon Place.
Hey everybody, this is JR from West Virginia Uncommon Place. Now, I'm going to take a step back. I had an episode a long time ago talking about the worst date ever. But let me give you an ideal date for me. Now, we know I'm the projector guy. I get out here and I like to just show a movie on there and get it going and see how it's going to work for me. But an ideal date, because you know I'm cheap, because it costs like $45 to go to the movies. Go to dinner, that's $90. $45 to $90. Then to go get some ice cream and get something extra, I mean, even spent like $150 to just go one place. And, I live in rural old West Virginia, or I'm in country town, so I'm not looking for the lavish things that you can do there. I'm looking for minutes that I can turn into moments, because I take a minute, turn it into a moment. Mr. Nostalgia, this, and that. I get down a certain way, so I want to move and groove a certain way when I'm doing things. So, idea for me where I'm Mr. Nostalgia. I am a person that I love the preservation of film, so I'd grab something from the 80s, something fun. Grab something like the Labyrinth 4K edition, where they've added in some different things. They fixed some frames in it and just overall made that presentation better. Obviously, with a projector, portable, whatever you're doing, nice dark setting. So, that can be freaking at the house, in the bedroom before you go to sleep, whatever you want to do with it. Now, me personally, the way I would do this is setting up dinner would be something that would be outside the movie, but would come to the movie. So the ideal with this would be go to a Mexican restaurant, because that's what I like to eat. She ordered whatever she wants. She wants chicken quesadilla, me chicken fajitas, or her, both of us chicken fajitas for two. We going cheap, because that's like $22.99, whatever I'm doing there. And as we're eating, bring up the topic of certain movies, get a feel for what she's looking for and what she has going on. Obviously, somebody that you've been with for a while, or someone that you just know that they're gung-ho. Now, if I can get her tied into the Labyrinth, that's where I would be good, because the Labyrinth is that 1980s Jim Henson. It's got a dark, twisted side to it, a little bit of androgynous feel to it. When you look at David Bowie with the anchoring of his voice anchors and tailors, so it gives you kind of like a musical type approach to it. And then the dark themes in the movie and the different things that go on in this movie is not something that would be typical today, but it's something that if she was intertwined with this, then you both would be intertwined. 40-year-old movie that still holds its weight. Now, me, after dinner, if I figured that I could get her to want to watch that, then something else, because if she wants to watch something like Terminator, I ain't got no way to work that out. But if I get her on the Labyrinth has things that if she knows it, she can sing to it. It's got a lot of comic relief. It's got these red monsters that the heads pop off, and they be like, Sarah, your head can't pop off. And it's got different voices. It's got Frank Oz in it. It's got things that move around. It's got a lot of motion. Got some Shakespearean type feel to it. It narrates a story that you're not going to hear today, a fantasy and an imagination that you had when you were younger. So that's what I will try to capture in this. And I know in an ideal date, you thought I would be talking about something flashy, flowers and all that stuff. No. I'm talking about the great cinematic experience that you can have at home, because I'm a cheapskate. I'm always looking at what's going to look good for me there. Now, going out to dinner or making dinner, you can decide how you do that. But me personally, I go to my favorite Mexican spot for the simple fact that she's going to get the atmosphere of whatever she wants to do. Now, if y'all drink, you drink. If you don't, whatever. But that Mexican food is going to set the spot, because it's going to swell in your stomach. It's going to put you in a stance where you're going to have to sit up for a little while. So from sitting up, got that projector going, get that movie started. The way that movie starts, it starts on a high note, semi note, and then you kind of get the struggle of Sarah with the new mama and the new baby. So, you get a little bit of what today's life is like, for some people. And the farther and further that story goes, it's got an up and down level, like I said, and the octave that I'm looking for in this is David Bowie. I said David Bowie. David Bowie's voice. When his voice is on point in this movie, and you're hearing that crystal clear through whatever way you're watching this, I don't care if it ain't a projector, but we're just going with the projector because that's me. That'll set the tone, for some questions later. It gives you a conversation after the movie. Now, there's other movies that can do that, so you can do whatever you want with it. But for me, like I said, we on my ideal date. And, when David Bowie sang, I'm going to give her that look. I'm going to give her that look that, I'm going to throw her that El DeBarge 1983, 85, 86, 88 look. And them years are specific because they mean something. And here it goes. And no, I ain't going to give her the 84 look, but I'm going to give her that 83, 88, 86, maybe 86, whatever we're going to do. And when I do that, she's going to smile. Ain't going to probably remember the part where it's at, but I'm just putting a smile on her face. Now, get the smile on her face, I figure out something themed to it, Definitely, this is a popcorn event. So with me, I'm going to have a popcorn, had a different little flavorings you can put on it. Me, where I'm diabetic, I'm just going to be on that kettle corn that's good for me to eat on. Not none of that crazy shit. And then, as the movie progresses, make sure we got what we want to drink. Like I said, to me, not an alcoholic affair. I'm going to have that Coke Zero on blast. And she drinking whatever she drinking. Be it Coke, Pepsi, whatever. Mr. Pibb, definitely no Dr. Pepper. However it happens. And then, let the movie progress through and watch it, blah, blah, blah. After the movie ends, turn it off, you either decide if you're going to stay up or if you're ready for your next part of eating something. And I'm going to do a dessert. So, I'm going to go classic. If the sugar looking right, I'm going to pull out the Vienna cake, the Breyer's Vienna joint. Cut her a slice of that rich cake, that rich ice cream cake. Because, when we was younger, that Vienna cake, didn't nobody have that? Didn't nobody, you seen it on TV. You seen it at your rich friends thinking that it was something rich when it wasn't even nothing rich. It was just, if they had it, they had it. We just didn't know that it wasn't rich. The way they put it on TV with the little violin playing. So she going to remember that. So I'm going to cut her a slice of the Vienna joint. Boop, boop. Fork with it, spoon, whatever, she going to eat it. And I'm like, you remember when we was kids and this was like the rich thing? Throw in one of my slick jokes or one of my little slick puns. Something that's going to capture her and wrap her up. No manipulation, nothing crazy there. Just something that's going to wrap her up and she's going to be like, yeah, I do remember. How much was this? And I'm going to be like, yo, this shit was like $7 or $6, however much it is. And then we're going to laugh about it because we really thought that was high society. I'm like, we here eating high society, hit it with my fake British accent, which I wasn't British, but you know what I'm saying, I'll come up with something. But just that fun, quick, tight intimacy that can happen right there with that. Then I'm going to throw some questions out there, and the questions are not going to be like I'm doing a podcast interview. The questions are going to be simple. A few characters. It's a random ass rat mouse looking thing that's got some proper talk, and then it's like a sloth joint that talks like this. That's all. So I'm gonna make sure with due diligence that he gets taken care of. And then there's like an old scruffy ass looking dude that goes between the girl and the Goblin King. I forgot old boy's name, but I'm gonna say ugly ass dude. So ugly ass dude, I'm gonna be like, yo, ugly ass dude. I wanted to feel sorry for him, but his voice was just so ragged that I couldn't feel sorry for him. I'm like, dang. And I'm gonna go on with my normal comedic spiel, see where she's going with it, what direction, what themes work for her, and then that's a conversation that can go on forever. That's a conversation that can carry itself for a long, long time. And that will be something that I can carry on with me. So the reason behind that being my ideal date, which is something that's easy to achieve, is this one thing. You do it, you set a date, you do it at a certain time. That's going to be a memory that's going to follow you around. And me as a person, that's what I try to achieve. I don't want to worry about that I spent the most money. I want, if she's not going to be with me later on in life, or if she goes on somewhere or if I pass away or something happens, that she can go back to that movie for the rest of her life and be like, hey, I watched that with J.R. Sparrow. I was with him in the cut, blah, 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 blah. Tell the story, and the story makes sense. And when she's telling it with somebody, if I'm not here, that thought comes across her head, or wherever she is in life, if I'm not there or whatever goes on, when she's telling that story, somebody's like, man, I got to go grab that movie and go watch it. Let me see what was so special about this movie to make him want to watch it with her. Or what made it so special for her to want to watch it with him. And if that arousal can be built there from it, I succeeded in what I was doing. I got the point across that I wanted, and that was to make a moment and capture a piece of time that stayed with her, along with a great movie such as The Labyrinth, which, I mean, you could probably do it with something else. Me personally, I would try to do it with Dark Crystal, but Dark Crystal, you know, it's hum-hum. It ain't got that David Bowie appeal. And when it's got that David Bowie appeal, that's a whole nother level right there. So, either way, I thank y'all for taking a moment to listen to me. And this ideal date for me is just something that makes sense just to me. Just, you know, because it's got that 80s feel to it. I'm one of them El DeBarge people. And I'm going to do this move. Look, you know, I'm going to have the extra curls going on. Make it look like I got that fake S curl. And I'm going to hope that movie plays and moves her in ways that'll make it a memory. Now, last thing I'll put in here, if it falls flat, I'll always try again with another movie. But that is personally my ideal date. If you guys want to check out more or want to give me more story ideas and things you want me to talk about, hit me up at wvuncommonplace@gmail.com.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at oncommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.